Have you ever heard an English expression and felt completely confused, as if someone had suddenly switched languages on you? Maybe someone told you to hold your horses and you paused, wondering what horses had to do with anything. Or a friend said, "The ball is in your court," and you wondered why a simple conversation suddenly sounded like a tennis match. Idioms can feel strange. They can surprise you, frustrate you, or even make you laugh when you realize how little sense they make at first. But none of this means your English is bad. It only means you are stepping into the world of expressions that carry culture, emotion, and history inside them. And once you understand the stories behind idioms, everything becomes clear. Today, I want to take you on a journey, one that does not rely on memorizing lists or repeating definitions that disappear from your memory the next day. Instead, we will explore idioms through imagination, through pictures, through story. You will begin to see idioms not as puzzles, but as small windows into how people think, how they feel, and how they use language to add color to their conversations. By the end of this lesson, idioms will no longer make you hesitate. They will make you smile. They will give your English personality, rhythm, and confidence. Before we dive into the stories, let me ask you something. Has there ever been a moment when you tried to use an idiom and immediately felt unsure, as if you were not sure whether people would understand you, or if you had used it correctly? Many learners tell me they avoid idioms because they fear using them wrong. They fear sounding strange. But language is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about connection, and idioms, when used naturally, help you connect faster than grammar ever can. They show humor. They show confidence. They show a little spark of culture. Imagine this. You are telling a story and you say, "Well, I guess the cat is out of the bag now." People smile. They understand the message behind your words, and suddenly your English feels alive. That is what idioms do. They make a simple sentence feel richer. They allow you to express emotion without needing long explanations. And when you understand the origin of an idiom, it becomes unforgettable. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Instead of teaching idioms the boring way, let us learn them through little scenes, each one connected. A different place and moment in history. To make this lesson completely new and fresh, we will step away from the usual examples and create new characters with new situations that help you visualize everything clearly. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready to follow along at a natural rhythm. If you are doing shadowing, repeat after me slowly and clearly. Let your voice follow mine at your own pace. Let us begin with the first idiom. Picture a young performer named Jonah standing backstage at a small community theater. His hands are trembling. His heart is beating so fast, he feels it inside his throat. The audience is waiting. The lights are ready. Jonah has practiced his lines for months. But now that the moment has arrived, fear rises in his stomach. Right before the curtain opens, one of the older actors walks by, pats him on the shoulder, and says, "Snap a limb out there?" Jonah looks confused. Snap a limb. That sounds painful. Why would someone tell him something so strange? Right before the biggest moment of his life, here is where the story comes in. Many years ago, in small traveling theaters, superstitions were everywhere. Actors believed that wishing someone good luck would actually bring the opposite. To avoid bad luck, they wished something negative. Over time, the phrase "snap a limb" became a way to say, perform with courage. Give it your all. May your performance be unforgettable. When you picture Jonah stepping onto the stage with a deep breath, carrying that strange but meaningful wish in his mind, you suddenly understand the idiom. You will never forget it again, because now it has a story. It has emotion. It has a picture attached. Now imagine a different scene. This time you are in a tiny fishing village with a girl named Becca. Every morning, the people of the village vote on small decisions, such as what work needs to be done, or who will help repair the boats. But instead of writing on paper, they use shells. A smooth white shell means yes. A darker shell means no. All the shells go into a bowl. And at the end of the meeting, the chief lifts the bowl to announce the results. One day, a little boy running past trips and bumps the table. The bowl falls. The shells scatter everywhere. The decision, which was supposed to remain secret until the right moment, is suddenly visible to everyone. People laugh. People gasp. And the phrase "spill the shells" becomes the village's way of saying someone revealed a secret too early. Whenever you hear this idiom, you will remember the wooden bowl, the flying shells, and the surprise in the villagers' faces. See how different that feels from simply memorizing the meaning of an idiom. When there is a story, your memory relaxes. It no longer works like a machine. It works like a storyteller. Storytelling is how humans have learned language for thousands of years. Let us explore another expression that confuses many learners. Imagine an old ship sailing across rough waters. The waves crash loudly. The sky is gray. A young sailor named Ruan tries his best to keep the ship steady, but after hours of battling the sea, he feels dizzy and weak. The captain notices Rowan's pale face and sends him below deck, where the rocking of the ship is softer and the air is calmer. The other sailors say he has gone beneath the storm. With time, this phrase becomes a way to say someone is not feeling well. They are beneath the storm, needing rest and recovery. This story helps you feel the idiom with your senses. You hear the waves. You picture Rowan holding his stomach. You sense the meaning without needing to translate anything. Now that we have explored 3 idioms through story, let us build your understanding even further by looking at how idioms change your English once you begin using them naturally. Many learners try to sound fluent by adding many idioms in one sentence. That does not work. Idioms are like little spices. You only need a pinch. 1 or 2 idioms at the right moment is enough to make your English sound expressive and controlled. Too many and the meaning becomes confusing. The trick is to choose idioms that connect to emotion. When you tell a story, when you talk about your day, when you describe your feelings, adding a single idiom creates a moment of connection. It shows personality. It shows that you are not just translating from your language. You are speaking from a place of understanding. Let us imagine someone named Marco preparing for a job interview. The night before, he feels anxious. He studies the company. He practices answers, and he tries to sleep early. But his mind is restless. The next morning, a friend sends him a message that says, "You have got this." Just remember, the spotlight favors the brave. Marco smiles. He does not need to memorize that phrase. He understands the picture behind it. He imagines a bright stage where only the confident step forward. And suddenly the idiom becomes personal. It feels like advice made just for him. That is the power of idioms that come with stories. They stay with you because they speak to your emotions. Now picture another scene. A woman named Talia is trying to comfort her younger sister, who is worried about making a mistake at school. Talia tells her, "Every cloud has a doorway. If you know where to look." Her sister imagines a cloudy sky and a small door opening in the middle of it. She feels calmer because the idiom paints a hopeful picture in her mind. This is how idioms should feel. Not confusing, not mechanical, but creative, warm, and human. At this point, You may be wondering how to practice idioms so you can use them naturally. The answer is simple. Do not memorize them. Instead, create your own emotional connection to each one. Think of a moment in your life that relates to the idiom. Think of a person. Think of a place. When you attach the idiom to something real, your brain keeps it forever. For example, if you learn the idiom snap a limb, imagine yourself giving a presentation or trying something new. Imagine someone cheering you on. That moment becomes your anchor. The idiom becomes yours. Another helpful way to practice idioms is to say them out loud. Speak them slowly. Repeat them with emotion. When you practice using your voice, your mouth learns the rhythm, your ears learn the flow, and your confidence grows because the idiom becomes part of your speaking style, not just something you think about. Let us explore 3 new idioms using this exact method. Imagine a young painter named Mira working on her first big art piece. She has been painting for hours, and her friend Sam visits the studio to check on her. Mira is exhausted. She wipes sweat from her forehead. Sam looks at the canvas and says, "You are almost there. Just put the final leaf on the tree." Mira smiles. The idiom means finishing the last small detail to complete something important. From now on, whenever you think about completing a task, imagine Mira adding that last leaf. The picture helps you remember. Now imagine a man named Julian doing an outdoor race. He is tired. The road is long. The sun is hot. But he keeps going. At one point, a stranger on the sidewalk shouts, "Give it one more breath." Julian lifts his head. He takes one long breath and keeps running. This idiom becomes your reminder when things get difficult, you push with one last effort. The story makes the meaning clear. You will never forget it because the idiom lives in the image of Julian running toward the finish line. Finally, imagine a quiet librarian named Hazel who loves organizing books. One day, a heavy pile of books falls over, and she tries to lift them all at once. Her colleague laughs gently and says, "Do not try to carry the whole mountain." Hazel laughs too and decides to carry the books one piece at a time. The idiom means you should not try to handle everything alone or all at once. It tells you to take smaller steps, to breathe, to move slowly. Now, whenever you feel overwhelmed, imagine Hazel carrying the books. The idiom comes to life. You are beginning to see the pattern. When idioms are tied to images, to characters, to moments, they move from the dictionary into your heart. They become part of your emotional memory. And emotional memory is the strongest form of memory you have. You have learned many new idioms today, not through force, but through story. You have traveled from a theater stage to a small fishing village, to a ship battling the waves, to a running track, to an art studio, and even to a library full of falling books. And each scene gave you a new expression that now makes sense. You no longer need to fear idioms. You only need to see them. As we reach the end of this lesson, take a moment to think about what you have learned. Idioms are not decorations. They are tools. Tools that add life to your English. Tools that help you express emotion. Tools that open doors between you and the people you speak to. And the more you connect idioms with stories, the more natural your English becomes. Before you go, I want to give you a small practice task. Choose one idiom from today's lesson, any one that you enjoyed. Then imagine your own little story for it. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be long. Just imagine a scene where that idiom comes to life. When you do this, you will understand it more deeply than any dictionary could teach you. And remember, fluency is not perfection. Fluency is expression. It is emotion. It is the courage to speak, even when you are still learning. Keep practicing. Keep imagining. Keep speaking with confidence and heart. You are growing every time you choose to understand English through meaning instead of memorization. And as you continue this journey, idioms will become your friends. Not strange phrases, not confusing puzzles. Just familiar expressions that help your English shine.